This point, you've done some predictions, I guess, about what you would do if you're put in some of the characters' positions by doing some quick writes prior to reading. You have started watching the movie Troy. We've watched just a brief summary of what the Odyssey is about, and you've created a timeline so you know where this journey begins and where it ends. Now, I told you yesterday that the reading can be a little bit difficult, but it's not anything that you can't handle. And I've came up with a way to help you learn how to read this and comprehend this so that you're not frustrated and struggling while you're doing so. As you read this, I've broken it into sections, and you can see under each section is a table with two portions to it. So first you're going to start by reading the text one section at a time. Next, you're going to think about what you've read and summarize or paraphrase it in your own words. We better fix that typo quick. Okay, so I'm going to read this, I'm going to think about what they're saying, and I'm going to summarize it or paraphrase it. Whenever we summarize or paraphrase something, we look to just get to the gist or the main idea. So we don't want to mention every single detail. We're just, I'm thinking, it should be at least half this length or less. And then, after we've thought about what we've read, we've put it into our own words, we want to use a good reading strategy, such as making a connection, making a prediction, asking a question. And I will insert a link on here, and I can show you quickly what it will look like. Right here is what you will see on your paper. These are good reading skills. So you'll have this on your assignment. You could say, well, this is what happened and this is the effect of it, so cause and effect. You could compare and contrast this to something else, either in the same book or a different book. You can just say, oh, well, here's the main idea, here's what's going on. Inferring means taking what you already know and adding it to what you read to make a decision. So you might just say, I infer that this is what's going on, or this is what's going to happen next. You can make connections. We've done those both text to self, text to text, and text to world. You can ask questions. I wonder what's going to happen next. Why did he do that? Why did she say that? Make predictions about what's going to happen. This is just about if you're stuck when you're reading, things you might try to do. You could identify some of the story elements. Oh, this must be the setting. This person must be a main character. You will all be summarizing each section. And visualizing helps a lot for some people. So you may just want to go out on the internet and find a picture to put in there that reminds you in your head of what you see as you read this. So that will be on the assignment. Well, okay, so here we are. So let me just model this for you. And also, don't be afraid to go to shmoop.com or SparkNotes if you get stuck. You can do that as well. But I really, really think that if you can do this on your own, if you read it and think about what's going on. You may have to take it one sentence at a time, or you may have to take it one section at a time. Another thing I want to mention is I've included links. So as you're reading, if you want to know more about these people, you can click on the links to learn more. And that will help you understand what you're reading better as well. So when it starts out, it says, tell me, O muse, of that ingenious hero. Who do we think that hero is? He's got to be Odysseus, right? So tell me about Odysseus. He traveled far and wide after he had sacked or taken down Troy, which we're watching the movie about Troy. So I would probably start out, they are asking to be told about Odysseus's travels after winning the Trojan War. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. Many cities did he visit? Oh, okay, so he visited a lot of... My computer's going really slow, sorry. He visited a lot of places, and many were the nations with whose manners and customs he was acquainted. Okay, so a lot of the places he went to were familiar. Moreover, he suffered much by sea while trying to save his own life. So he visited a lot of places and he suffered at sea. Okay. What's that mean? He suffered while traveling the ocean. Okay. And he was trying to save his own life and bring his men safely back home. Okay. While trying to get back home safely. So see how I take breaks as safely. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk to you about too, is an extension that we have. But I kind of, with this, I have to actually read a sentence at a time, or even a chunk of a sentence, and think about what they're saying. I've done this so many times that it's easy for me and it comes natural. You probably haven't done this as often as I have. I was a struggling reader. I struggled with comprehending or remembering what I read. So I slowly over time learned to do this through practice. Lots and lots of practice. Okay, so that's the gist of what you're going to do. Read it, put it in your own words. Over here is where you're going to use a good reading strategy. Make a prediction, ask a question, you know, those types of things. So, for example, I might just put, I wonder what type of struggles he encountered while traveling. So, I'm kind of hoping that I get to learn about those. Now, we know we're going to, but I don't know all the details, right? I just know a few things from watching the summary and from looking at the timeline. Now, another thing you can use while you're going through this is you have an extension called Read and Write. It looks like a puzzle piece. It's purple and it has an RW. If you don't see this up here, then you can click here where you see these bars. You can go to Settings. Over here, click on Extensions. And this will list all of the extensions that you have on your computer. You want to make sure that next to Read and Write for Google has a check mark so that it's enabled. So you want to make sure you have that. Now, what can this extension do for you? Many things. First of all, you can make predictions using this, which is just typing it out like you would here. Don't use the extension for that for this assignment. There's a dictionary, so if you come up to a word that you don't know, you can use the dictionary. Let's say I don't know what persecuted means. I click on the dictionary. Oh, it means someone suffering. Okay. Some religious groups are persecuted in some countries. It kind of reminds me of the Holocaust and the Jews being persecuted. Okay. There's a picture dictionary. Maybe you want to see what that looks like. That might help you. Not all words will get a picture. You can play this, meaning it will read it to you.
TELLMEOMUSEOFTHTINGENIO.
Now, it will read the words. It won't spell them out like that. You just... Here we go.
TELLME.
So we'll have to go...
Delilah.
I need to go into settings and fix mine, but it will read it to you. I'm going to hit stop. Fact Finder. Let me see. I'm going to click on the sun god Hyperion and click on Fact Finder. It's going to take me to a Google search about Hyperion. Now, this isn't Hyperion Records, this is Hyperion Mythology. So if I wanted to learn more, I could just click on that link and do some reading. This one is speech input, so you can record your voice. We're not going to do that. This one would translate it if you spoke a different language. These are highlighters. Now what's cool about this is, if you want to highlight something, I'm going to click highlight, yellow. Okay, so it's highlighted. I have different colors if I'm looking for different things throughout the text. You can clear your highlights as well. So if I decide, oh, I really didn't want to highlight that, I can just clear it. But let's say I do want it highlighted. I can click on this button and it will give me, I can choose which highlights I want, and it will give me a document with everything that I've highlighted on it. So if you were reading something for biology and you wanted to take notes while you were reading, then you could do that, and everything that you highlighted would be put onto a new sheet. You can see right here it's collecting the highlights and it's getting ready to put it into a new Google document for me. This is a vocabulary tab, so you could also highlight words and make a vocabulary list. So I'm going to just click on that word and click vocabulary. And it's creating these documents. And then eventually you'll be able to click. As I said, my computer's really slow today, but eventually you'll be able to click and see everything that you highlighted. Same thing with your vocabulary. You would have a whole vocabulary list there. So this offers you a ton of help while you're reading, along with pausing after you read something and thinking about what it's saying. If you were to read this entire document, and you can see it's pretty lengthy, 8 pages, and not take any notes, not paraphrase it, not think about it while you're reading it, there's no way you would remember what was going on. There are too many things going on in this one book of the Odyssey. So use your good reading strategies. Use this extension to help you if you find it helpful. If you don't, then you don't have to use it. And you see up here it wants to use my microphone because I clicked on here to do speech. So just like you can highlight things, you could say, hey, I need to remind myself, look up the sun god Hyperion. I might want to do a research paper on them later. Okay, so play around with this. Take your time reading. Enjoy it. It's a really cool story. Click on the links. Some of them include videos. Some of them take you to websites. I'll show you real quick. You never know what you're going to find when you click on the links. It's kind of fun to bring what you're reading to life. And it's really interesting to learn more about this stuff. Okay, so enjoy.